start over
around parts of Regional 1 so they could have easy access for people to come in and maybe to block some of the traffic.
and they're saying that they're setting it up right now for a press conference.
Is in critical condition right now.
I'm just recording it for the record because I don't have time to pre-record it.
As we look at this live picture from the library out in East Memphis right now near Clark Tower.
Now, it's not uncommon
Officer
for people to
is
go into
in
the library
surgery.
and use the computer.
They said it's not
According to the
looking
man
good.
That Jordan interviewed, he said that the individual that the police were talking to was on a computer. It may have even been on the computer this gentleman usually uses, and that he was talking with police. Police asked him to possibly take
The
off
witness
his skull
said it
cap.
was over a skull
And they had
cap.
said something to him. Don't know what happened after that, what caused some type of interaction. Okay.
Yeah, I think we just got some information in from our producer letting us know that the TBI news conference is slated to start at 4 o'clock. Of course, we will bring that to you live right here on WREG and on WREG.com.
Yeah, and hopefully that will give us some more information that we can
A
bring
skull
to you.
cap.
Jordan James has been at
The
scene
witness
as
heard.
well, and he is, Jordan, we're hearing that they're going to give us an update about 4 o'clock. For the very latest out there, but just setting the scene where you are, because earlier today when all of this was happening, you couldn't really get through that area. I mean, it was more police there probably than anything, but all of
They
that
got
has
two
kind of changed a
command
little bit
centers
now.
set up.
Yeah, April, it certainly has. We had to take several detours to try to get to this library, just kind of speaking to how massive this scene was. Initially, at one point in time, they had several lanes closed so that law enforcement can make their way to and from this scene. When we first got here, there was an ambulance leaving. I saw a police officer also leaving this scene. We assume going toward the hospital. I'm going to step out of the way to give you a better look at what's going on out here. At this point in time, we've been saying things are sort of at a standstill. And it's certainly different from what we saw earlier, but right now the investigation is underway into what actually occurred inside of that library. Speaking with witnesses, they told us that it was some sort of encounter between a man and two officers, and then things somehow quickly escalated. By the end of it, it's believed that that man was shot and killed, and an officer was taken to the hospital. He was also shot. He was taken to the hospital in extreme critical condition. The man who I interviewed about
Full
10
of
minutes
light,
ago,
9 high.
kind of described it as
Yeah,
a library in
it's
action.
crazy.
As April, you were saying, they asked the man to take off his skull cap.
Hey,
And
Deborah.
you kind of heard them talking, and he proceeded to
He's
go get a
spinning.
book, and then moments
They
later,
said
he heard
over a
gunshots.
skull
He heard
cap.
about
He
5
confronted a
distinct
man over a
gunshots, and that's
skull
when
cap.
several people, took cover. He said he had to drag a woman to safety. Just kind of speaking to, the panic that ensued as a result of this shooting that occurred here just after 12:30. TBI investigators are on scene. The ATF right now they're walking toward the mobile command post. I assume they're going to just discuss this case and this fluid situation out here right now. But this is the scene out here. Things are sort of at a standstill, and we're waiting to learn more from the TBI here in the coming hours. Alex and April.
Whew.
Conference that
Oh my God.
at 4 p.m. today. Again, we will check it to you live. And again, as we pointed out, we also heard from a witness, Ruby King, who says she went to the library, I believe, just to use the internet.
She's strong.
Yeah, her interview.
She still went to another library.
So when I walked into the study room and I had just turned the lights on, I was looking for somewhere to plug up. And as soon as I saw the plug, I know I had my back to the door, and all of a sudden I heard 5 loud shots. It was loud. I had never heard anything like that. And so I turned because I wondered if what I heard was what I thought I had just heard. And so I heard the officer say, "Did I tell you to be still? If you move one more time, I'm going to pop you again." So
Wow.
I kind of eased to the door, and I saw there was a lady on the pitch. She was spread eagle on the floor, and I thought she was the one that had been shot, but she wasn't. Another older gentleman came and helped her off the floor, helped her hide behind the bookcases, and then he took cover. I noticed that the workers there were taking cover as well, but the officer seemed to have everything under control. So as soon as I thought it was safe to leave, I left because I could not tell who had a weapon, who was doing what. I immediately jumped in my car when I saw that it was clear, and as I was leaving, another cruiser was pulling in.
Yeah.
An incredible account there. And again, listening to what she said, April, hearing, according to her, at least 5 shots. 5 shots coming from inside the library.
Yeah, and we actually heard from that man that she was describing.
please
that was
pay
trying
him
to
again.
help the lady get out of the way and taking cover. And we might add, because it's not normal, regular patrol for police to be at the library. Now, the libraries do have security, but it's usually not the police. Like when I've gone to the library,
Of course.
they have a security guard that goes around and drives in the parking lot of the big library anyway. And some of these smaller libraries may have an individual, but it's not normal that a police officer is stationed at the library. So you can assume that maybe they were called for an incident or something. They got called to the library, and then that interaction she was talking about happened. Something happened, and then the officer may have been hit, and then gunfight.
As we said earlier, this is not one of the larger libraries. It's not like the Ben Hooks Library on Poplar.
Can y'all believe
Which
that?
is the
Oh,
central one.
wow.
And as you were saying, it would kind of have you asking the question, why was this police officer there unless somebody had been called in?
Yeah, so a lot of questions to be answered. WREG's Ashley Paul is at Regional 1, where a lot of questions there as far as the condition of that officer. Ashley.
Yeah, well, right now we can confirm that that officer is still in surgery and is in very critical condition. Now, we just spoke with an officer who tells us that the road was blocked off before just to give family and other officers easier access to the hospital. That yellow tape has since been taken down and Jefferson is reopened. But right now, again, we're still waiting on that update on this officer's condition. It is expected to be a long night. Just a little while ago, we did see them drop off several pizzas to these officers because
Can they
it's
send
really
me a
anybody's guess
pizza?
how long we'll be out here and how long that officer will
my
be in
God.
surgery. Now, the officer that I spoke with briefly did tell us that he's going to try and track down the public information officer to come and give us an update, tell us what's going on. But as far as what happened, Alex and April, as you just mentioned, we still don't really know those details. We just know that this officer is in critical condition and we're all hoping for a good outcome.
Yeah, we are for sure. Ashley Paul, thank you very much for that. And we saw earlier that urgency, when some of the
Donna.
officers, made it to the scene to Regional 1 as that show of support.
And talking about that, because usually, like they said, a public information officer, and sometimes even the
Memphis
police
is out of
director
control.
will come out across the street there to speak, and
We've
we
seen
have
it,
not seen that.
Unfortunately, many times, but we haven't seen it today.
Yeah, so far. So we're told that earlier I heard Ashley say that CJ Davis was not there at that time, but she may
Yes,
have
I'm
been,
behaving
and that maybe
myself,
she
don't
had
Miss
gone in.
Donna,
We
yes.
don't know if she is there. Or
This
if she
kinda
will come
calm me
out, or
down.
the public
Hey,
information
Linda.
officer will be coming out.
I'm
Right now,
praying
check
for
back
everyone in
with
Memphis. The
WREG's,
devil is surely big. Yeah, the
Jordan
devil
James.
is
Jordan,
busy.
what's going on out there?
He coming
at
with
this moment?
coming to steal, kill, and destroy.
Hey, Alex and April, at this point in time, a lot of investigators, detectives, and officers are
Yeah, they be
they're
showing
kind of
out.
in the area and talking with different people who are out here on the scene right now. Things are
I ain't
sorta
gonna lie,
as
y'all. When I
standstill, but
started
just to
seeing
kinda
them
reset,
unmarked cars
how
out
we
there, I
got
said,
here. We first arrived
"Oh,
around 12:30.
oh
It was a very active
Lord."
scene.
Please don't let
Memphis
this be the
ended up
Scorpion
pushing us
unit.
back as a result of them
Please.
expanding their perimeter. Given that this happened around 12:30, when there were a lot of people out at this point in time, it appears that the shooting
Hi,
was
Jacqueline.
just contained to the library. But at this time, it was pretty active out here. The ATF, the TBI, Memphis police, a lot of people from the community started to show up to the scene, just asking the question, what's going on here?
The Memphis itself needs to come together and have a prayer visual, healing for the city.
Escalated. I do believe we have a sound
all
of
of
the
them
man who I
playing
spoke
with the
about
devils
30
and
minutes
not
ago saying,
believing in God. Oh, wow.
as you can see right there, that man
Wow.
was obviously overcome with emotions after enduring something like this. And a person who we spoke with earlier in the day, he talked about, where are you safe at, given that
They
this
need a
happened in the library
revival.
when
They
some
need to
people
come
were,
together in
coming
unity
here
and pray
along
for
with
healing
this
for the
issue. We didn't have
city.
internet, so this was our only place to turn to. So this situation certainly could have been worse at this point in time.
Yeah.
It was just that man who was shot and killed in the officer
told him to
was
take off
taken to the
his-
hospital in extreme critical condition. We've learned that he is undergoing surgery at this point in time. We don't know as to how long his recovery process could really take, but for now,
It's
let's get back to
time.
you guys in studio.
It's time.
Jordan, thank you very much for that.
Yes,
All right.
Jacqueline, that man.
People
He
typically
seemed
go
like he
to
done been in the
the
military
book,
before when he started
listen to
saying the
music,
subject.
use the internet, maybe to
Yeah,
get out of the cold, but
but
for something like this to happen,
He was
so many
shaking.
questions.
Yeah. and
He
that
was
gentleman
shaking.
said
He
it
was
an
strong.
interaction.
He was
doesn't know what it
heroic.
about,
Right.
but apparently,
But he was shaking.
they were asking him some questions, and it escalated from there.
But if he
So
took
that's what
off
we
his
hope to be able to
skull
find out
cap,
from TBI.
why did they
Thank
make
you
him
for
stand
sure. We're
up?
checking right now with WREG's
Well,
Stacey Jacobson. Stacey, what can you tell
Let's
us?
listen.
Alex, we are standing by. We're waiting to hear
Hey,
from the
Key.
Tennessee Bureau of Investigation. They're supposed to be giving us
They losing
an
their, they done
update
lost
in
their
about
mind.
15 to 20 minutes. They said around 4 o'clock they will be speaking here. We will tell you as they are talking what they are telling us about what they have learned about what happened inside the library. Of course, we've heard from witnesses, as you were just saying, who talked to us a little bit about what they heard and saw. This will be what officials have been able to gather from talking to witnesses. People
Some
who
in the
were
water. I
inside,
said that a
other
long time ago,
officers,
y'all.
you can imagine,
Some in the
employees
water.
with the library, and also what they have learned from the evidence that they have been gathering. I'm just going to step out here and show you. We still have police officers here. You see the blue flashing lights. We see that the
Yeah, don't
parking lot
expect
is roped
the
off.
library people
Nobody
don't
allowed
care.
inside. We do have several
Who
cars that
around?
are still parked there.
No,
And we
it's
do have
freezing
other
cold outside. Why did he have
emergency
to take his
officials
cap
off
off?
to the left side here of the library. We know that the ATF, the TBI, MPD, and MFD have all been on scene. But as you can see in front of the library here, traffic is back up to normal. We have all lanes on Poplar open at this point, and that's a fairly new development within, I would say, the last 30 minutes, that all of the lanes have been back open, because we did see a large traffic delay about an hour or two ago. So at this point, we are here, we're standing by, we're at this staging area across the street from the library. We
Why
are
did
going
he
to get
make him
official
take his
word
cap
on
off?
what
It's
they have
cold
learned about what
outside. It's
happened inside
ice.
the library. We'll bring that to you live, and we'll update you as soon as we learn more.
Oh yeah, I
Back to you,
heard.
Christina.
Yeah, you're
All right,
right
thank
there.
you.
But it used to be the
She's,
shit.
right
Now
across
it's
the
to
street,
shoot 'em
so
up,
maybe
bang
coming across the
bang.
street, hopefully, to provide that information, because the scene is still active. And one thing that Zanetta and Julie
No,
were talking about
it
was
don't
that there
take
were
long
two
to
mobile
trigger.
vans.
It
You know,
doesn't.
usually you see a mobile van when police have
Exactly.
start staging an
Right.
area,
I ain't gonna
and
lie.
they said there were two on the scene.
That's
actually.
like asking that that little boy I did the thing this morning about what's in your backpack. Don't run. That mean run.
The Poplar White Station Library in East Memphis.
Leave people alone. It's cold. I got my cap on.
So this afternoon.
Yeah, very busy area, right at the lunch hour. Of course,
Right.
the library, we're understanding, had
You're
just
right,
opened, because they opened late, I guess, because of the weather, but they had just.
Can y'all
opened
hit
and
the
hadn't
like
been
button
open that
for me?
long. Maybe at noon they opened, and all of this going down about 12:30. So an individual, we saw her witnesses say
That's-
came in, there was some type of interaction with officers. We assume that officers were called to the library for some reason. It's not normal for.
I don't like
officers
him after
to be
the man said he
stationed at the
took off
library.
the
That's
cap.
not normally one of their
Thank you, Donna.
patrolling
He made him
areas.
stand
So
up.
maybe
For
something
what?
happened and they were called to that area. And
took his cap
interacted
off.
with a gentleman, and the man said that he told him to take off his skull cap.
And we heard one witness that Jordan brought us a little bit earlier say that when he heard the police officers talk with that gentleman, that they were not being ugly or quote mean to them. So
Right, and he took the cap off.
What happened next?
So
So
what was
he
the
did say
problem?
one officer was helping the
I
other
ain't gonna lie
officer
about
tending
that
to his
drink.
head. So at least there were at least two officers there and some type of injury to the head. Is what he saw, and he said he heard what?
Girl.
5 gunshots. That's what he said.
What's
The
called green
library,
tea
of course,
shot?
they're closed
Girl.
until further notice. Library staff, they were evacuated and are all in a safe place now. And again, as we can see.
But it was
traffic
tea
back
nonetheless,
moving
right?
again.
Yeah, and when you think about what that gentleman said,
Yeah,
that
Linda,
other people were
yeah.
running for cover
Yeah.
and actually trying to duck and get
Yeah.
out of the way. But
But it was another cop there, so the man had to go through a metal detector. Okay, so here I come, y'all.
Anything like that to
They
happen
have a metal
there
detector.
at all.
So
have
who
not
shot
heard,
the
anything
officer?
official from MPD, Memphis Police. We have not heard yet from the Tennessee Bureau of Investigation, but they are on the scene. So
He went
we
through a
have
metal
not gotten
detector.
an official
2 cops
report
was
on
there.
exactly what
He
happened.
took his
but
cap
we were told
off.
that will happen at the top of the hour.
And we will bring it to
Yeah,
you then. Let's
yeah.
check back in with WR's
But I'm
news,
awake.
Jordan
I'm
James.
awake.
Jordan, what's happening now?
Hey Alex and April, things are still at a standstill at this point in time, but something that stood out to us about an hour ago was they brought an extra mobile command post here
Yep,
to the scene.
two mobile
which kind of
commands.
indicates just how massive the crime scene is and how it stands.
No,
So,
that
not
lady
only
didn't
is
say
it
nothing about the
directly in
metal
front of the
detector being
library,
broke.
but it's also stretching over to the businesses that are located right behind the library. Right now, it appears to be some high-ranking members of MPD who are just kind of standing
But
around.
y'all know how
We
Auntie
assume
Fee think
discussing
right off the
case at
bat.
this point in time, but it's a far
But I
cry
did
from,
catch
what
that.
we saw a few hours ago when things were kind of hectic. Not many people in the area knew what was going on. Law enforcement was coming and going.
Why
People in the
was
community
police at the
showing up,
library?
just
They said
very
normally it's
concerned, given
security.
that this shooting comes at a time when many folks in the community say they're on edge as a result of the incident involving Tyree Nichols, and for this to happen is just kind of.
Well, they had 3
compounded
witnesses
the,
inside.
grief that they feel at this point in time, and it sparked the conversation about were you safe. And as far as what we know at this point in time, speaking with different witnesses, they describe it as two officers were questioning a man at the library, and then somehow things quickly escalated, followed by at least 5 gunshots that forced several people inside of the library to take cover. By the time the gunshots were
Unless
it appears that man had died.
I'ma wait, y'all, because I got some things going on in my head.
Condition. We've learned from my colleague Ashley Paul that the officer is undergoing surgery at this point in time.
Oh yeah, good. It's my second go round. Done. They kicked me out the first time. They kicked me out. I'm coming back.
As they work to try to get to the bottom as to what unfolded here. But Alex and April, back to you guys.
All right, Jordan, thank you very
Now,
much. As Jordan says so well, so many people.
they had those unmarked cars out there. So is this somebody that they have been watching? That
Yeah, definitely on the hills.
okay, Donald.
And just a
Is
lot
this
of
somebody
questions
that they
about
have been
all that's going
watching?
down, and a lot of people in that area
And they
probably
made him take his
feel
cap
with
off to
questions
identify
and,
him once the
having
backup
to
came.
witness this or see what's going on. Bria
Did somebody
Jones is
run into
also
the
out in
library
that
after
area
they
at the
had just,
library, outside the
did
library.
something they
And Bria, what are
wasn't
people
supposed to be
telling you?
doing? I can't wait for them. Oh, they got Miss Mustang out there.
able to just speak with a source that's close to this investigation. That source was able to tell me that this actually started as a trespassing call. And so they sent a trespassing call here to Clark Tower. When they arrived, they say that the suspect was actually already here at the library. Now, again,